In the soft hours when the world begins to exhale, a single observation can change the tone of the day. Notice a small thing, a thread of sunlight, the warmth on the wrist, and let that recognition open a quiet door. Gratitude starts as attention. It asks only to be remembered, not manufactured. Allow the mind to slow and receive the gentle evidence of goodness already present. This gentle noticing is the first small spark that will later light the heart. A single spark holds no need for grandeur. It is valid by its mere existence. Collect together the tiny bright moments that often pass unremarked. The taste on a tongue, a quiet laugh, a breath that comes easily. Let the list grow silently in the mind like pebbles making a cairn, each one a marker of worth. These small lights accumulate until the whole landscape seems illuminated. The practice is gentle, and its power becomes visible in the steady warmth that follows. Recognition has a relieving quality. It absolves the heart of the pressure to chase only the big and obvious. When gratitude is remembered, suffering does not vanish, but the field around it widens with color. The presence of appreciation makes space for pain without becoming consumed by it. This wider field grants perspective, allowing the resilient parts of the spirit to breathe. In that breath, a softer courage is born. Anchor a few of these small observations in the chest, like lanterns that do not dim with passing weather. With each breath, let the light settle deeper, informing the way attention moves through the day. Gratitude anchored becomes a reference point, returning the mind to a steadier horizon. This steady horizon becomes a companion in moments of doubt and a quiet teacher in moments of joy. In time, inner life shifts. The smallest glimmer begins to feel like a reliable star. Daily rituals are not tasks, but invitations to return home to the heart's simple geography. A brief morning pause, a counted breath, or a whispered name can reorient the attention toward abundance. These small acts serve as anchors, reducing the sway of distraction and reestablishing the inner rhythm. The mind learns through repetition which door leads back to clarity. In that learned pathway, appreciation becomes easier to find. Use the breath as a gentle meter for grateful noticing. On the inhale, receive. On the exhale, release what is not needed. This small cycle, repeated a few times, reshapes the nervous system from tension toward openness. Gratitude cultivated this way feels embodied, not merely intellectual. The body remembers what the mind affirms, and the two together create a steady channel of well-being. Over time, the breath itself becomes a familiar sanctuary. Tiny habits compound. A single note of appreciation each day adds up to a transformed inner weather. Turn 3 small acknowledgments into a daily habit, a moment before a meal, a thought at the close of work, a soft gaze at the sky. With patience, the habit builds muscle memory, and the habit becomes a steady source of luminous energy. This quiet accumulation alters how life is perceived, bringing more detail into view. The change is subtle but unmistakable when observed over time. When storms come, the rituals practiced in calmer weather act as a rope to steady the heart. They do not erase difficulty, but provide an accessible place to stand, a pattern that reduces reactivity. Gratitude rituals remind that even amid trouble, there are persistent threads of warmth and support. Returning to those threads rebuilds equilibrium with less effort than trying to start anew in crisis. The ritualized sparkles of everyday life thus become a reservoir of resilience. Hard days demand honesty. Gratitude is not an escape from pain, but a companion within it. First, name what is heavy without diminishing the ache. This acknowledgement clears the way for honest appreciation. Gratitude in such moments looks different. It may be a single breath of warmth or the presence of a reliable routine. Even the smallest flicker matters when the horizon is overcast. That flicker becomes a beacon for steadier choices. Look for tender evidence amid the difficulty. A hand that reached out, a memory that comforts, a moment of quiet that keeps the heart intact. These are not cures, but truths that preserve dignity and continuity. Allow each tender instance to be acknowledged without the pressure to feel more than is possible. Gratitude here is a precise, respectful attention to this narrow, nourishing truth. It reinforces the sense that the self can hold both sorrow and gratitude at once. Gratitude grows when pain is honored rather than denied. Gentle acceptance supports the healing process. By recognizing difficulty and also noting what remains supportive, a balanced perspective takes shape. This balance does not rush recovery, but it creates a more stable platform for gradual change. That platform allows clearer choices and kinder internal dialogue to emerge. From that steadiness, forward movement becomes possible again. The act of regarding hardship with a grateful eye is transformative, not because it denies reality, but because it widens the field of perception. This widening prevents narrow suffering from monopolizing attention and invites resources previously unseen. Over time, the practice subtly rewires response patterns toward resilience and courage. The heart learns to carry both fragility and lamp-like gratitude, making the path forward both honest and kind. That is the quiet alchemy of endurance. Imagine a horizon that is gratitude-shaped, a daily skyline toward which attention naturally moves. Living with such a horizon does not mean constant euphoria. It means a reliable orientation that guides decisions and small moments. This orientation helps choose actions that align with what truly matters and tempers priorities with appreciation. It becomes less about checking boxes and more about carrying a luminous posture through ordinary tasks. Over weeks and months, this posture reshapes the inner landscape. Relationships become mirrors for gratitude when held with intention. Simple acknowledgement and small acts of care create a feedback loop of warmth. Seeing another as a bearer of light, even in small ways, shifts interactions toward generosity and patience. Gratitude in relationship softens defensiveness and extends curiosity, allowing deeper connection to emerge. This is not perfect love, but a practice of returning to appreciation as a first response. In time, such exchanges cultivate mutual flourishing. A grateful horizon infuses work and purpose with quiet joy, making routine efforts feel like offerings rather than mere obligations. This subtle shift improves focus, endurance, and satisfaction by reconnecting tasks to values. When the labor is seen as part of a larger tapestry, motivation grows from meaning rather than pressure. The result is a steadier, more sustainable engagement with daily responsibilities. Gratitude becomes the soil in which purposeful action takes root. The brightest effect of a grateful heart is the willingness to pass the sparkle forward, sharing light without expectation. Small acts, an encouraging word, a shared meal, a moment of listening, multiply the warmth into places where it is most needed. This generosity does not deplete inner stores. It affirms them, confirming the abundance at hand. Living this way creates gentle ripples that touch unknown lives, building a quieter, sturdier communal resilience. That ongoing ripple is the living echo of gratitude,